Billions of pesos. Ghost flood control projects. People still drowning. Is this the biggest scandal after Duterte? Let's dive into the truth of this scam. Only on Janine the Judge, uncovering the facts without compromise in the Janine Jewel segment. Let's start with the Ombudsman. This institution is supposed to be the people's last line of defense against corruption. But the public doubts. Does the Ombudsman dare to take on powerful figures like Duterte's circle? The Ombudsman has been asked to investigate the flow of hundreds of billions of pesos in flood control projects. Yet its track record often slows down when dealing with heavyweight politicians. It's important to note the Ombudsman is not moving on its own. The House Committee on Good Government adopted its report on June 10 and then submitted the documents to the Ombudsman on June 16, 2025. So, this investigation stems from an official House recommendation, not a direct complaint. And that recommendation didn't come out of nowhere. It was born from major findings on the flood control scandal, which brings us to our next point. Now, let's break down the flood scandal that's in the spotlight. Reports say the flood control projects faced a 71.7 billion pesos budget cut, even though since 2022, Bulacan alone had already absorbed nearly 45% of the flood control funds. A COA audit revealed ghost projects and the same contractors dominating billion-peso contracts. Where did the people's money go? And why do contractors linked to the Duterte circle keep dominating major tenders, even while citizens are still drowning in floods? The trail is clear. Since Rodrigo Duterte's presidency, a few favored contractors repeatedly won massive bid. Now, the same pattern continues from Bulacan to Davao, a Dutertenomics cycle that refuses to be broken. And in the middle of this storm, a familiar name surfaces: Vice President Sara Duterte. She once criticized the flood project, even claiming Davao was being left out. Yet at the same time, she herself faces accusations of misusing confidential funds. The public now asks, is she a genuine critic? Or just part of the same old ghost contract pattern under the Dutertenomics network? The Ombudsman gave her a 10-day deadline. And on June 27, 2025, Sara submitted her counter-affidavit. Auditors flagged 125 million pesos in OVP confidential funds spent in just 11 days in 2022, plus another 500 million pesos in DepEd funds in 2023 that lacked proper documentation. This formed the basis of impeachment charges: betrayal of public trust, technical malversation, and unexplained wealth. But Ombudsman Martirez admitted if the Senate acquits Sara in her impeachment trial, his office cannot pursue the case further. This scandal is not just about failed infrastructure. It's about betrayal of public trust. The people are fed up with endless scandals and empty promises. While billions vanish on paper, families lose their homes, their jobs, even their lives. The public's question is simple: who pocketed the money? And who is pretending not to see? All eyes now turn to Duterte and his allies. From flood projects in Bulacan to confidential funds in Davao, the pattern is the same. Public money disappears. Elites remain in power. At this point, the flood issue is clearly more than failed projects. It's a struggle for power. The question is, will state institutions dare to enforce justice? This controversy goes far beyond infrastructure. It's about the clash between justice, politics, and institutional courage. The Senate has already launched its own investigation, motu proprio, and several contractors who thrived during the Duterte era are now being summoned. But the public's question still hangs. Will the Ombudsman act bravely or bow to the Duterte dynasty? Interestingly, the House, through Repron Joel Chua, has pledged full cooperation with the Ombudsman, including turning over documents and transcripts of their probe. The promise of transparency is there, but the public is waiting for real proof. So, is it accountability or impunity? Billions lost. The people are waiting for answers. Will the truth rise to the surface or drown with the flood of corruption? Ombudsman, prove your courage now, not later. Don't let this scandal be buried. Speak out in the comments, because only by demanding transparency can we stop the flood of corruption. Thanks for watching Janine the Judge, and stay tuned for the next Janine Jewel video.